Hi everyone, this is Julia from Adventure Geek, and today I thought I would show you what happened last night. I was testing out my winter gear. Yes, I'm in the garden, and I thought I'd go through the process. I was toasty warm and I'm a very cold sleeper. So this week's video is all about showing you what my winter gear setup is for having a nice warm sleep. So if that's of interest to you, stay tuned. Let's go. Whose idea was it to actually film inside the tent? That was just crazy. Anyway, I thought the first thing I'd show, or not show you, but explain, is what you actually wear when you're in bed, or actually inside your sleeping bag or inside your quilt. You really don't want to wear too many clothes. I know most people tend to, put loads and loads of different layers on, but you actually want your body heat to produce heat, which is what makes your down sleeping bag or your down quilt work. So the only things I wore in bed were my thermal tops and bottoms. So that's the first thing I wore. I wore a beanie hat just to keep my head warm because I've got a quilt. I haven't got a sleeping bag with a hood. I really want to get one of those down hoods things. And I also wore, I know this sounds daft, but I wore my waterproof socks because they're really warm and they keep the heat inside, which is what they're meant to do when you're actually out walking, but actually in bed they're great socks as well. And then on top of those I wore, on top of those I wore my Sundick down booties. I know it's a terrible name, but these are really good. I did have some other down booties that I got from AliExpress, but the ones that I originally got didn't have any sort of elastic or anything to keep them on your feet. So if you are going to invest in some, make sure that you get some good ones that have got elasticity around the ankle so they didn't fall off. These stayed on my feet all last night, so pretty awesome. Thanks to Rebecca for buying them for me and gifting them to me. Right, so that's the first thing of what you actually wear in bed. I didn't even wear my down jacket. I think I had it to one side just in case I got cold, but I didn't because I was toasty warm all night. So let me talk to you about my layering system on my from my pad through to the ground and everything else here actually on inside my tent. So let's go and see if I can film this. Let's see. This is actually really difficult to film, but my first layer on the very top is my Thermarest Chorus quilt. This is a quilt. I absolutely love this quilt. It's a winter quilt. It goes down to -6, even though I was in -7 last night. It has these little clasps that go either side, so that wraps around your neck. So as I say, this is the Thermarest Chorus it's called, and it's got a foot box. It's all included, so that just taps around my my Xped pad. So that's the first thing on the very top layer. I think I'm just going to undo the layers as I go. So that's number one. I also had, just in case, my Aegis Max down sleeping quilt as well, just in case, but I didn't actually need that, so that was quite cool. Alright, this is a bit of luxury, but my next bit is my Xped mat sheet. So this is like a fitted sheet that fits on top of my down pad, which is pretty awesome, and it's got pad straps, so it didn't actually come off at all. It stayed on there all night. So that's the Xped mat sheet. And then I've just taken the sheet off. So underneath the sheet I had just one of those really cheap foil blanket things just to reflect the heat, and that didn't move at all, and it didn't feel all crunchy, which I was expecting it to, but it didn't at all. So that's the foil sheet. Okay, then I've got my Xped down mat. This is the Downlight F5M, which I believe has an R value of 4.9, something like that. So it's filled down, so it doesn't make all that crinkly noise, which I absolutely love. It's got its own little pump, and I've done a video on that. I'll put a video up in the cards. But you can also see I've then got a foam mat with foil on top of it but this is like a cut down version, because also underneath I also put a foil bit underneath as well. So Yeah, that was my system. But on top of that, I told you I sleep cold. On top of that, there's some other little bits that I did as well. Alright, so I told you I sleep cold, so the next thing I do is always, probably about 2 or 3 hours before I get into bed, is I'll chuck in some heat pads. So these are like hand warmers, but you can see that they're quite big. You just peel them off, the air cuts chemicals, and then they're nice and heat up. So I put one in my foot box and one in the torso area. So that's that. And then the last thing I do, you're gonna laugh at this, but it's actually still got water in it. I have a water bag. This is really, it looks huge, but actually it's not. It's all crinkled up, but it's just full of water still. It goes really small, and because it's a bag, it doesn't feel heavy or doesn't poke in you or anything like that, because it's a nice bag. But also I can use this for ice if I've got problems with my knees or anything like that. I can fill it with really ice cold water when I'm out on the trail, and I can put it over my knee, put it on my head or wherever. But it's a great hot water bottle as well. There'll be links to everything down there below. The other thing that I did test out, which I was really surprised at, is I absolutely love my Thermarest pillow, but it's massive and it just took up too much volume in my pack, or too much space in my pack. So I was trying out a new pillow, and I went to Decathlon and I bought this. It's got a really lovely feel to it. So this is one of the Decathlon pillows. I'll put a link to the Decathlon link just down below. But yeah, it's an air pillow, but it didn't feel like an air pillow, and it didn't move from my sleep pad either, whereas this pillow ended up on the side, whereas that just stayed where it was, and it just felt really nice and cozy. It's got a nice feel to it. So yeah, that's my new pillow as well. So I'll be taking that. It scrunches up nice and small, so that's something else that really helped as well. So I was nice and toasty and warm last night. Unlike now, I'm absolutely freezing now, so my hands are really, really cold. So I'm going to go inside, grab another coffee, and I'll catch you next week. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, get outside, get inspired, go take a hike when you can. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Ta-da. Bye-bye.